What you are about to hear is not new. These are warnings of impending troubles for mankind that are about to intensify and spread, but will give way, some years down the road, to the time of peace, prosperity, and progress that is called the New Age, the 1,000 years of peace. These messages come from the great spiritual master Kailash Anand, known in America as Yogi Gupta, whose disciple I am. I have been receiving messages from my Guru since he left his earthly body in May 2011 through telepathic communication. These are divine messages, whose ultimate purpose is always the upliftment of mankind. The messages in today's blog concern the times of crisis and tribulation that already began at the end of 2012 and will last for several years until the coming of the Messiah, who will usher in the age of peace, harmony, and spiritual growth for mankind. Many other messages of great importance for you personally are contained in the volumes titled The Master's Voice, published by Surya Press. You can obtain this information by accessing on the internet suryapress.com. That is SURYAPRESS.com. Here now are the messages. Message of November 29th, 2013. The message to the Earth Mother that has been sent today by the great fathers, the great masters, is an urgent one, that she comply with our request and desist from protecting those who do not deserve, no longer deserve her protection, which she has been doing, thus delaying the Armageddon and other atrocities from happening, to help cleanse, purify the earth and the human race. The natural cataclysms must for sure happen soon now, soonest, so that everything can be ready for the Messiah. Please do not forget the candles, the beeswax in every room, including, just in case, the attic, the garage, and the basement too. Your idea that has recommended itself to you to place the candles in the tall glass may prove to be a good one for more efficient, longer-lasting burning of the wax candles, so you can be sure to have them burning at least the required and necessary 72 hours of your time. Earth time. The Earth Mother, the divine and loving and most adorable and kind goddess of the earth, has been doing her utmost to protect her children from the reckoning moment. But her forbearance, unfortunately, is not resulting in humanity's reversal of its self-degradation. People keep inventing constantly newer and newer bad things, evil ways to do, and therefore the weight of sin is increasing now rather than decreasing, as had happened for the last few decades because of the strenuous effort of all the saints, the people of goodwill, and the dedicated to me, the godly, devoted walk-ins. The forces of evildoers are on the increase now, as they sense their final moment approaching, when they can rule the earth as they have done, worked toward for so long now. Therefore, to prevent a worsening, a further deterioration of sorts, we must now act to stem that tide of evil-doing, which means the good ones will also be wiped out in part, due to association, willing or unwilling, with the bad ones. Those who cherish their lives, therefore, must move away from the path of iniquity now, must do their level best to turn their faces more completely toward God and away from mammon, the devil, which means desires that are selfish, that destroy the individual's access to the pure light of God's love, wisdom, omnipotence, omniscience, his eternal power to make men free, bring salvation, liberation of the soul from the night of ignorance, the darkness of sense satisfaction with abandon. Every day now you will see things getting markedly worse. This is the season for holiness, but it will not be. Not to be very holy at all, as greed, lust, hypocrisy, and untruth, alcoholism, and drug abuse run rampant through mankind. The government forces, despite very best efforts, just will not have the opportunity to regroup, to catch their collective breath as the evildoers hammer away. So beware, be aware, all my children, all my devotees. Prepare yourselves without taking cue from others, whether they are doing what I ask or not doing. The evidence of the world is not very good evidence these days. The current ways of society in general, its trends of thinking and action, are not guaranteeing them a place in heaven, not in the least. So follow me, please, and turn a deaf ear and blind eye to the mobs that now rule the world. The entertainment mob, which includes the Hollywood in Los Angeles, California, and Las Vegas, and all the casinos, as also the publishing and advertising and art complexes and conglomerates in New York, that powerhouse of powerful acids that devour the conscience of mankind, also includes the wellness, health care mob that keeps leading and guiding the population to further self-destruction by wrongly attributing disease to its symptoms rather than its cause. The politician mob, which is feeding now on itself like an empty and excited stomach, dissolving itself in its own acid. The religion mob, all those confused and day by day more and more unhappy and discontented and now fearful church leaders of all sects and religions who lead their people astray with empty promises because they haven't a clue as to how to implement a program of salvation. Pedophilia, lust, gluttony, greed, alcoholism of the clergy is not the issue. These are the symptoms of the malaise, of the deep disease which has been bothering the church for years, for centuries and millennia. The crux of the matter is lack of faith in God, pure and simple. No moral, no spiritual discipline at all in this Church of Christ that he founded to resolve the ills of Western man via selfless service, bhakti yoga. For as I have said again and again, that is his message, the golden rule. Love thy neighbor as thou shouldst love thyself. Not love of the ego, but love of the self, the true self, of which most are not even aware most remotely that they truly are that, and nothing else. Enough of all these atrocities, of all that darkness. Now comes the light. But first of all the garbage blocking the windows, all those piles of woeful human experience, mountains of it, must be forcibly moved away, thrown out, and then the daylight naturally shines in. It is its job to make things clear and well-defined, to act to save people from the confusion caused by belief in unreality. As these terrible calamitous days for mankind are now so swiftly approaching, already almost here, even the denizens of the heavens, of the high astral worlds, are becoming deeply agitated, for many, all have ties to those below here on earth. Even the fully objective saints, totally detached, feel agitation in their hearts due to compassion for those who soon will be suffering terrible woes, pain, torment, and will be dying. Atlantis and Lemuria both shall soon enough rise again, to be fought over by many nations, but it is up to Christ the Redeemer to resolve that issue through his right-hand man, the true ruler of the world, the political ruler working hand in hand with the spiritual leader, the Messiah. And now the second message of immediate importance. It is composed of 3 parts received on 3 separate dates. It concerns the Master's prediction that it is going to be a very tough winter, with weather conditions leaving people without access to food and warmth. Therefore, the Master forewarns that people should prepare now. Here is what he said. Now as to clothes for the coming winter, it may turn out to be bitter cold for prolonged periods due to snow, blizzards galore. You must be very careful this coming winter. Stay close to home, all of you. No far-ranging, extensive traveling. Make sure you have plenty of warm clothes and shoes, that you can protect the face and whatever other exposed parts there may be from blistering and chapping due to the cold, which sucks up moisture. Make sure there's plenty of food supply, no canned stuff. What you can get in glass jars that is well made and pure, all the better. Otherwise, make your own, as your mother used to do for you, for the whole family. Well made, it can last for years. Even so, there is usually some spoilage. Now make the efforts to dry fruits and vegetables, and collect nuts and seeds for sprouting and eating raw for the coming winter, when food trucks and fuel trucks may not be able to get through always due to the increasing blizzards and snow, causing people to go hungry and be cold. Message of February 28, 2013. Now the second part of the message. As I have said previously, I foresee this will be a very tough winter for many, though not all, in the United States, also in Europe, especially Northern Europe, the Baltic states, and all the nations to the north of the Alps, to Poland especially, but also to Russia. Horrible. Germany, France, Holland, Belgium, the Benelux countries, etc., Austria, Ukraine, all of them will have a very hard time this coming winter, and the people need to prepare individually, because the governments are in no position financially and management-wise to cope with the forecast and its consequences. That was the message of May 18th, 2013. Finally, in his message of November 15th, 2013, Yogi Gupta gives a long list of food and other articles that should be acquired and stored for the coming times of difficulty, which shall start this winter for many. To get the complete list, please visit the website at suryapress.com. The Master concludes this November 15, 2013 message as follows: and pray to God for relief of the fruit of sin, the wages of sin, best stockpile of all, the spiritual merit, the spiritual credit that overcomes all. For further information about the Master's messages, please go to suryapress.com. That is suryapress.com. Thank you for your attention.